Welcome, compassionate souls. Let's see why do you and your future spouse fall in love with each other. I will pull out tarot cards and oracle cards with the help of compassionate spirits, angels, and deities of compassionate light. After this intro, you will see Group 1 and Group 2 pop up for you to choose. Pick Group 1 or 2, depending on which one you are drawn to, and click on the timestamps in the description box below for your reading. Remember, take what resonates and leave out the ones that don't resonate with you to someone else. I will see you in your group reading. Group 1. There's something deeply raw and real about the way you and your future spouse fall in love. It doesn't follow a perfect plan. It doesn't unfold in a picture-perfect timeline. In fact, at the beginning, it might even catch you both off guard. With the Queen of Swords reversed, we see that one or both of you may have come into this connection guarded, perhaps carrying past pain or feeling the need to stay emotionally distant out of protection. But that wall doesn't last long. Your future spouse falls in love with you because of the way you let your true self show, slowly but surely, even if it's imperfect, even if it's vulnerable. They fall for your honesty, even when you struggle to express it clearly. They fall for the quiet moments when your truth slips out, even when you weren't planning to share it. And in return, you fall in love with how they see you, the real you, and never ask you to be anything else. The Queen of Wands upright is such a powerful reflection of your inner light. There's fire in you, passion, confidence, creativity, a magnetic energy that draws others in. Your future spouse falls deeply in love with the way you own your space, how you speak with warmth and stand in your power. You light up a room without even trying, and you inspire them to be more of themselves. You fall in love with how they admire your strength, not because they want to tame it, but because they respect it and want to grow beside it. The Eight of Wands shows how quickly this love develops once the connection is made. There's a spark between you two that feels electric. It might start as a conversation that never seems to end, a shared moment that lingers longer than expected, or a series of events that feel like they were meant to happen. You both fall in love fast, but not recklessly. It's the kind of connection that feels like it's moving quickly, yet in the right direction. You fall in love with the way they communicate with you, how they're direct, open, passionate. And they fall in love with how easy it feels to talk to you, even about things they've kept hidden before. Now, the Emperor reversed and Four of Wands reversed tell a more tender story beneath the surface. This isn't a conventional love. It might not look like what others expect. Maybe there are delays in commitment, or maybe your journey together doesn't follow a traditional path. But it's yours. You fall in love with the way you're able to redefine what love means together. Your future spouse sees your independence and your inner fire, and they don't try to control it. Instead, they learn to trust the connection for what it is, not what it's supposed to be. And you fall for their willingness to surrender their own need for control, to grow with you, not ahead of you. Together, you learn that love doesn't need to be perfect, polished, or planned. It just needs to be true. In the end, you and your future spouse fall in love not just because of who you are, but because of who you become when you're together. You challenge each other, encourage each other, and create a space where freedom, depth, and passion can coexist. This is a love that breaks a few rules, but it builds a connection that feels like home in ways words can't fully explain. Group 2, from the very beginning, this connection feels profound, almost as if it was written long before you even met. With the Emperor and the High Priestess both showing up upright, the love story between you and your future spouse is rooted in both structure and soul. You fall in love with one another because you balance each other in ways that are undeniable and deeply magnetic. The Emperor represents stability, safety, and unwavering presence. One of you may come across as strong, protective, or someone who naturally steps into leadership. But what makes this love so special is that the strength shown here isn't about control, it's about devotion. Your future spouse falls in love with how grounded, reliable, and emotionally mature you are, and you fall for how they make you feel seen, respected, and held through the storms of life. You find home in their consistency. Then we have the High Priestess, intuitive, quiet, and spiritually in tune. This love blossoms in the space between words. It's not all action and planning, it's deep knowing. You fall in love with how your future spouse understands you without needing an explanation. You feel emotionally safe with them because they listen with their heart. And they fall in love with the way you offer depth, mystery, and emotional insight. You might often feel like you've known each other far longer than you actually have. This is a connection where you don't need to perform to be loved. You simply are. But love isn't without its internal battles. With the Two of Swords, there's a sense that one or both of you may wrestle with big decisions when it comes to this relationship. Perhaps you or your future spouse struggle to open up at first, or fear making the wrong choice. You fall in love, in part, through patience, by showing each other that real love isn't pressured or forced, but revealed in its own time. You fall for their emotional honesty, even if it takes time for them to fully express it. The Ace of Swords reveals a moment of clarity, a turning point where everything suddenly makes sense. There's a powerful, honest conversation or moment of realization that clears the fog. You fall in love with their truth, their ability to say the thing no one else has, to speak from the heart, to tell you what you mean to them, clearly, courageously. And they fall for your willingness to listen, to understand, and to walk alongside them even when the path isn't obvious. Now, the Seven of Swords may seem tricky, but in this context, it's not about betrayal. It speaks more to the inner masks we wear. You and your future spouse fall in love because you slowly, gently help each other take off the armor. The barriers built from past relationships, from fear, from needing to appear strong or untouchable, those begin to melt away. There's a quiet trust built over time. You love each other not just for who you are, but for the courage it takes to be vulnerable. In the end, you fall in love through truth, through unspoken understanding, through shared strength and quiet revelations. This relationship is one where there is no need to pretend, no need to rush. You see one another fully, past the masks, past the walls, and you love each other for it. This isn't a whirlwind. It's a soul-deep, steady unfolding of two people choosing each other over and over again.